December 30th, I am back in Atlanta. I drove overnight, and I was telling on the live YouTube feed, autopilot is so good. It is so good. I mean, I can't imagine if I bought it in 2018 with my original Model 3, and I was able to transfer it to the Model Y that I have now. And so I will probably have it for life, and hopefully they'll let me transfer it to new cars over the years and blah, 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 whatever, needs to be done. But I can't imagine with the subscription going on a road trip and not subscribing for a month, not just paying for the autopilot feature for a month. It's that good. I mean, at one point, either in Virginia or in North Carolina, I forget where, but it wound up driving out of the charging station and completely to the next charging station. And the only thing it didn't do was back up automatically into the charging spot. But because I have it, I hit the park button and it backed up automatically. That was the only interaction that I had during an hour-long drive from one charging station to the next. So if you want a Tesla, by the way, they have a great sale. Get the $7,500 off, buy something in stock. You'll be able to go over and pick it up. But use my link, because you will get $2,000 off a Tesla. It's really, really good. If you don't have the money for a Tesla, just invest in Tesla stock and you'll be fine. I'm kidding. No financial advice. What are we going to go over? We're going to go over 2025, what we can expect. We're going to go over, does valuation actually matter? We'll go over fair values for Magnificent Seven. I'll post that in the newsletter. JC Parrott's from All Star Charts. I was on a Spaces with him, and he gave some great advice. We'll go over 2025 for Google, which would be interesting. And we're going to talk about education, trend lines. Okay, we're going to talk about trend lines. We're going to talk about RSI. We're going to talk about a lot of things, but mainly it's going to be about strategy. What is your strategy? Develop your strategy, because you need to develop your strategy before you know what tools you need to get. And the tools that I use are Trendspider and Seeking Alpha. We will go over all of that. Trendspider is on sale. They're having their New Year's sale. Okay, it's 65% off. I steer people, when these sales go on, I steer people towards the advanced tier. And the reason is, if it's within your budget, they have unlimited one-on-one training. See it down there at the bottom? Unlimited one-on-one training on the bottom left. And it's the advanced tier. If you don't have it in your budget and you want Trendspider, get the enhanced tier. With these sales, it doesn't make sense to get the standard tier. The enhanced tier, the middle one, comes with one free one-on-one session. So it's just one. You can get yourself set up, but it comes with all the tools that you need, including the AI Strategy Lab, which is a game changer. I still have not developed a great strategy in the AI Strategy Lab, but I think over the next year, there will be somebody in my audience who comes out with a killer strategy that beats buy and hold, that performs well on several stocks, and that they actually make a ton of money off of a strategy they get in the AI Strategy Lab. It is tremendous. You can go over to Trendspider's YouTube page and see more about it. But if you want to sign up through me, you go to Linktree. Okay, linktr.ee/daily stock pick. It is down below on your screen. You can see it if you're just watching on Spotify or YouTube. The link is right down there. Use this top link. Okay, now let's talk about the markets, because we're seeing a little bit of a bloodbath. Friday, horrible day. My portfolio was down. But remember where you're coming from. Okay, and you can't look at just one day. And it was said, Palantir is down 3% today. And people are, throwing their hands up in the air and saying, what the hell's going on? Why are you doing, we're down 3%. This stock only goes up. No. You realize you're up 300% on Palantir this year, and you're going to complain about 3%? Well, maybe you bought it at $80 and it's down at 76. What's your strategy for it? Why'd you buy it? That would be my question. I ain't buying it at 80. I'm not buying it at 70. I think it's overvalued. But do I own it? Yes, because I own QQQ. So, think of your strategy. Think of these things when on down days. And do you want to buy the dip? I'd say absolutely. Now, the 4-hour algorithm on QQQ here It makes you 81.8% over 24 months. 17 positions. It wins 65% of the time. Are you winning every time? No. 65% of the time it wins. Your average win is 7%. But if you bought and held, you're up 92%. So what is my strategy to buy an ETF like this? I look at the 4-hour algorithm for entries, and then I buy and hold. And when do I get out? If I want to get out, I'm going to look at this weekly chart and I'm going to find a time when it looks weak. Maybe it's when the MACD is up this high. You know, the past couple of times, like 2021, the MACD got up this high. The RSI was up at 69 in November of 2021. And that's when we started to see it fall. You know, you see the 50-day start to fall. Maybe it's when you cross below the 50-day, because you're not below the 50-day right now. You're not. And everybody's talking about how 2025 is going to be that good. Well, you know, you got to find a strategy. You got to make sure that you're doing 2025 Apollo. These are what to watch out for. And they put 12 things in here. Tariffs, NVIDIA earnings disappointing, U.S. economy reaccelerating and animal spirits coming back, M&A, IPO activity, Fed stops talking about rate cuts, U.S. inflation accelerates in Q1. Driven by a strong economy, Fed raises their rates in 2025. If they raise their rates, expect for that market to crash. U.S. 10-year Treasury rates move above 5%. That's what's causing the stock market to go down now. Rates are moving up. That's not a good thing. Probability of a recession in Germany. That's huge. China outright recession. If China goes into a recession, they're the number 2 economy in the world. Guess what happens? Most of the rest of the world will go into a recession as well. So understand where you're at, understand what you're doing, and you got to look at it. You know, you got to find your strategy. And that's the thing, is you take in this news. If your strategy is to buy and sell all the time, then you're going to buy and sell all the time. My strategy, traditionally, buy and hold. Now, this was posted on Friday. 2 trading days are left, today and tomorrow. Okay, Palantir's up 360%. These are the ones in the S&P that are up more than 100%. Vistra, which is an energy company, is up 262%. NVIDIA, 176%. GE Vernova, another power, 154%. United freaking Airlines is up 141%. Texas Pacific, 121%. Broadcom, 116%. Howmet, HW, I don't even know what the hell they do. They're up 105%. So understand that you're going to see a lot of this stuff. Find your names, put them in a watch list. In Trendspider, what can you do? You can put them into a watch list, and then you can scan on them and you can see what shows up every morning. Okay? This is just a red beacon of a sign. If anyone in my audience did not beat the S&P, you're not listening. You're just not listening. Okay? You could come close and still listen. But it was clear. Apple, the Magnificent Seven, again, I put out in the newsletter. The newsletter's free. If you're not signed up to the newsletter, I don't know what for. It's free. You can get it, dailystockpick.substack.com. It's right here on Linktree. You can go and get it. I put out my year-end stuff, and I put out my predictions. I was 8 for 10, 9 for 10, somewhere around that. But the average retail investor is up 9.8% year to date, according to JP Morgan. Okay, the S&P, if you would have just bought VOO, you're up 26.6%. Okay, this year's retail performance is the second worst out of any year. It was dependent on you being in a few stocks. And if you just guessed at a bunch of stocks, you probably lost. Okay, retail investors are on track for their 4th straight year of underperforming the S&P 500. This is why I tell you, it is important for you to have a backing. You know, Tesla is way up this year. Tesla is way up. It's trading at 420 right now. Okay, 420. This is a stock price that Elon particularly loves. He loves to joke about this one, 420. It is up there at 420. You started the year, in 200 somewhere? Did you know that it was going to dip down to 160 in April? You didn't. You didn't know. You didn't know that it was going to, track all this way. If you bet on it, great. But you were down most of the year. How do I own Tesla? I own it in XLY. That's a much more even stock chart for me to hold Tesla. than to own Tesla and trade it. That's just it. So find your strategy. Again, if you're a retail trader who made and you're up 10% this year, throw the large majority of your portfolio into VOO and then trade 5% of your portfolio. Do not trade 100% of your portfolio. You shouldn't. It should be buy and hold. So that's why I say when you try and determine what your year-end performance is, it's to determine, are you a good stock trader or are you complete shit? Because if you're complete shit, you need to develop your skills. It's not like Tiger Woods went out one day. You know, you saw him when he was 13, 15 years old, winning a bunch of tournaments. He couldn't go out and win the Masters. He had to work on it for years. You know, a pitcher in baseball, they don't just, go from high school into the major leagues and throw a no-hitter. No, quarterbacks, you see the development of quarterbacks in the NFL. This is the skill that you need to try out. And it's not like you want to take all your money and throw it into it. And number one rule, when a douche on the internet tells you to do something or buy a particular stock, don't listen to them. You better know what you're getting into. Okay, I was on let's talk about long-term for stocks. OKLO, who I follow on Substack, he's got a really good thing, and I'm going to put this in the newsletter, so don't worry. If you're subscribed to the newsletter, you'll see it. Don't have it on my screen right now. But 5 top investment themes for the next decade, AI infrastructure, and he lists all the company. Cloud lists all the companies. Fintech lists all the companies. E-commerce lists all the companies. Healthcare lists all the company. So if you want to find sectors that you're interested in, again, read those, find the names. I'm not a big fan of UNH. I'm not a big fan of HIMS. He puts those up there. I'm not a big fan of Hood. I'm not going to do that. But I do agree with his categories there. And make sure you identify when you want to sell some of your stocks, okay? He puts fair values on the Magnificent Seven. He says Apple is 210. Okay, Apple right now is trading at 252. I look like a genius selling this at 257. Long term, I better buy back because I will not look like a genius selling at 257 when the stock is at 300. And mind you, it will get to 300 at some point in time. Google at 215. And Google right now is trading at 190. He says it's fairly valued at 215. Amazon, he says it's fairly valued at 260. Okay, it's trading at 220. I would agree with him. Meta, he says it's fairly valued at 648. It's trading at 589. Okay, Nvidia, he says it's fairly valued at 155. It's trading at 134. Microsoft, he says it's fairly valued at 378. This is trading at 426. Okay, Tesla, he says it's fairly valued at 280. It is trading at 421. So there are 3 stocks that are trading above where his fair value is. Do you think he's holding them? No. Find out where your fair value is. And you can easily do that in Seeking Alpha. You can easily do that based on technical factors on Trendspider. And nobody's going to tell you where a stock price goes because the reality is nobody knows. The market will determine that. So if you're asking somebody, do you think this is a good long-term stock? They're giving you an opinion, not a fact. Okay? I saw this. The retail trader one that came up. Now, JC Parrott's from All Star Charts. I was on a Spaces with him on Friday, I think it was. But we were talking about it. He said that semis looked to be setting up really nicely. And then I saw this from Trendspider. Okay, this is SMH. This is a weekly chart. That's a wedge. This could be the start of a great squeeze. Look at that 3-month squeeze. Again, the Trendspider has some of these tools, these indicators that you can use in Trendspider. I don't use. There's a lot of these tools in Trendspider that I just don't use that you could use. Oh God. And again, Safari. But here, so look at that 3-month squeeze. Look, this is the squeeze indicator, SQUEEZ. Go and look at it in Trendspider. If you have Trendspider, go and look at it because it looks like it's going to be setting up for a very nice beginning of the year. And yes, semis have underperformed this bull rally. Now, one of them that he pulls up is SMTC. This is a mid-cap one. So let's take a look. How would you hear somebody tell you, oh my God, this is one that, is great. How do you go and look at it? Well, first, I would pull up a chart. Okay, I would go to Trendspider, and these are the tools that I use. This is how I manage my portfolio. This is how, somebody like JC is telling me, hey, this is a great one. I look at this, and I say, the algorithm has me out. Nice 20% gain. When I look at it, the 4-hour algorithm makes me 233% versus buy and hold over the last 24 months makes 129%. 23 positions, so you're in once a month. It's great. It fits my my lifestyle because I don't want to trade every day. But if I wanted to trade this one, I could absolutely trade it. Now, I can look at this and say, ooh, this is a nice upward trend on this 4-hour. Let me go and look at the weekly. Ooh, look at that. It just crossed its 200-day on the weekly. That 50-day is moving positive. What do we have at all-time highs? We have about 93 at the all-time highs, 94. That was back in 2021. This one looks to be going up there. Because if you continue in this realm, that golden cross of the 50-day and the 200 should continue. Now let's go over SMTC. Let's go over to Seeking Alpha because I want to see on the quant, what does this look like? And it looks like crap. Okay, the valuation looks horrible. The growth looks horrible. The profitability looks horrible. The momentum, fantastic. And revisions, fantastic. Wall Street says it's a buy. We can go over here and look at the Wall Street price target. Oh, and it's doing it again. Seeking Alpha. This is exactly what I told Seeking Alpha, is that on Safari, it just doesn't work real well. But price target, $74, 17% upside on this one. Okay, it's down 2% in pre-market. It was down 3% on Friday. It is a high flyer. It is getting hit. You can pull up this virtual analyst report, and it tells you everything you want to know. Valuation exhibits challenging valuation scenario. Its EV sales of 8 and price to book of 10 are considerably higher. Growth is mixed with notable forward revenue of 14%. Profitability metrics present a bleak picture. And you can read all about the positive. This changes every day. They write a new virtual analyst report for all the stocks that they cover every day. It's AI. It's done by AI. So do I want to trade in this one? Well, if I wanted to do it, I would be looking at the 4-hour, and I wouldn't be looking at this one for long term because the fundamentals don't fit my profile. That's how you look at things like this. Okay, that's how I would take this and look at these semiconductors, take a guy like JC who tells me a company that I don't even know about, and then look at the chart, and I would say until the fundamentals turn around, I want to trade this one on a strategy, a technical strategy that actually makes money. It's just my thing. You can trade SMH, you can trade the ETF on a fundamental, on a strategy, but one of the stocks that's in my portfolio, Google. Alphabet holds its highest win rate in the month of January with positive returns in 15 of the last 20 years. And we can go look at Google. Okay, I own Google a lot. We just talked about how Oguz thinks that Google is actually worth $215. It's trading at $190 right now. And that 193, I don't think it provided a lot of support because you're trading at 190 right now. So look for it to maybe come back and fill this gap around 182 to 177. Now, do I know for sure that that's the case? No. Am I making moves in my portfolio at the end of the year? No. I am just expecting. Where did you start the year at on Google? You started the year at about 140. It didn't perform like outstandingly well, but you had opportunities to trade this one. Okay. Now, the 4-hour algorithm makes you 77% versus buy and hold makes you 116%. I am a buy and hold guy on Google. And I like buy and hold on Google. I don't I don't trade this one a lot, but I do trim it from time to time. And I do think that they, we'll talk about it a little bit. The CEO we'll talk about it now. CEO asked employees to brace for a challenging 2025. Okay. He's going to spend a ton on AI. They are doing a very good job on AI. I think they're monetizing it extremely well. And again, you look at January and it's up. So if you want to bet that you're going to win 15 out of 20 times maybe you'll win 16 out of 21 times, buy at the beginning of the year and then just sell it to the end of the month. So again, this is a strategy that I like to buy and hold. But when I look at the stock chart, I just look at it. Look at the greatest investor of all time, Warren Buffett. Okay. He has put a ton of money and he's doubling down on Occidental Petroleum. And it is down incredibly. He has lost $2 billion on Oxy. Nobody knows what his strategy is on that one. Is it a lot of money to most everybody? Yes. He's been investing since it was 60s. Okay, I pulled this out of the core portfolio and said, if I'm going to follow Buffett, I'm going to just buy Berkshire. And so the algorithm has you in at $47 if you want to get in there. That's a falling knife to me. Now Energy Occidental, if you look it up in Seeking Alpha, it looks fantastic. It's an energy company. The valuation, it's a little bit overextended. Not much when the PEG ratio, their growth is actually a C-, but their profitability, they're making shit tons of money. And so when you look at Wall Street, what does Wall Street think it's worth? $62, 27% upside. They haven't brought their prices down on this one. We'll look at Exxon later. But am I willing to go into this one? No, not right now. I'm not willing to lose money with Buffett. And this was, by the way, I thought this quote was good from Evan, from the Google CEO, just touching on this one again. I think it's really important we internalize the urgency of this moment and need to move faster as a company. The stakes are high. These are disruptive moments. In 2025, we need to be relentlessly focused on unlocking the benefits of this technology and solve real user problems. That is Sundar talking about Google. Okay, I like that. Google has been slow. They became a behemoth, and then Larry and Sergey decide we're going to go into the office every day. I like that. Founder-led companies are good, and you can see they're taking the moment and they're stepping up. And I like it. OpenAI can talk all about their search and all about how they're going to disrupt Google. Google just keeps getting better. And if you haven't used Gemini, the Gemini app on your iPhone, it is really, really good. And I like it. I like having conversations with it. It is super, super simple. In the new year, am going to start a workout routine. So I will use the prompt. I am a 54-year-old man who used to be a runner. I stopped running. I want to build muscle. Over the next 60 days, can you build a workout program to get me back into working out? Boom. It will create it for me. So that's how I'm using AI. And I thought that quote was great. I want to invest in leaders that are like that, who say, you know what? Remember, he went through a culture problem where people started, bitching about, some of the beliefs of the Republican, the far right and stuff like that. And they wanted to manipulate Google search results and blah, blah, blah. He went through an internal issue and addressed it. And now he's like, F everybody else. We got to get focused on AI, and we've got to get the business right. And for all those people complaining about culture and things of that sort, we're going to get the business right. And I think you're going to see Google trim down. What does that do for us as investors? It lowers our cost. Okay, the cost of actually doing business. If they start laying people off and using more AI for their own business, if Apple starts promoting using the Google Tensor chips instead of NVIDIA, that's all good for Google. So understand the business, understand what you're doing. Now, as far as strategies go, I think there's great, strategies out there. This is Tori. All she does is trade on trend lines. And it's super, super simple. I'm giving you this video, How to Trade Trend Lines 101. Came out 3 days ago, so it's brand new. And she teaches you how to trade on trend lines. It is very simple in Trendspider to set up a trend line. Okay? And again, say you want to invest in Microsoft. Let me just refresh. this. We're going to go back into Google, and we're going to go into the 4-hour algorithm, and we'll run this on Google. Say you want to trade Google and you want to do a trend line. Okay, let's look at a weekly to see where the trend line is. Well, you can just go down to Trendspider, and you've got a support. I've got a support and resistance line, and it's a trend line, and you can put it in here. Okay, and it automatically does it for you. So if you just anchor to 3 points, you can see that would be your support line. So if you wanted to buy today at, say, 191, which is where it's trading right now, then your support would be along this trend line. If it broke that trend line, then you might want to sell. Again, develop your own strategy, but Tori teaches you all about trend lines and how she does it. Now there's the RSI, okay? This is an RSI cheat sheet. To understand, RSI is the relative strength indicator. And when you're oversold, the reading is below 30. Okay, if you just look at this Google, when the RSI down here at the bottom of this chart, this blue line at the bottom, when that gets below 30, you're oversold, which typically means you can see when it gets about 30, you can see the stock price start to move up or go sideways. It doesn't automatically mean that because, again, you went from, let's see, we're trading at 112 right here on May 23rd, and the RSI moved up to, let's see, 51. And you're only trading at about 120. So you didn't move much. And then you crashed right back down to 90. So the RSI isn't a great indicator, but it's a great tool. Again, trendline breakout. This is all about trendline on the RSI, not only on the stock chart with the price, but the RSI as well. And you can see trendline breakout, divergence, bearish signal, bullish signal. This is a cheat sheet for you. Now, trend lines are super important. Humble Trader is another YouTube channel that I watch, and she goes over her 3 simple steps to improve profitability using trend lines. You get a theme here? Trend lines are a great beginner tool, and you don't need Trendspider to do this. Trendspider is basically trend line. You know, you take the training wheels off, and you can draw everything that you need to do in Trendspider. But you can do trend lines just by printing out a damn stock chart off of, print your screen and grab a ruler and do a trend line. That was how you did it back in the day before computers. And yes, I traded before computers. You would look at a trend and you would just dot plot the stock price and you would do a trend line on a piece of paper. They are super, super powerful. Learn about them. Google them. Go onto YouTube. It's about finding a strategy. Now, another strategy might be valuation. You can see quality stocks, Zoetis. In 2021, buying at sky-high valuations was risky. MSCI, PE at 70 times, market cap 50 billion. Zoetis, 57 times, market cap 115. Fast forward to today, okay? The PE is down, the market cap is down. Zoetis, the PE is down, the market cap is down. Okay? Valuation is not just a number. It is the foundation of your risk reward. Even great businesses can be poor investments if you overpay. So we can go and look at Zoetis. Let's look at Zoetis. This is dog insurance. I think it's pet insurance. ZTS. I think that's what they do. Zoetis. Let's look at a weekly chart of this one. Okay? If you go and look at it, 2021 and fast forward today. So in 2021, they were super, super expensive. Look at that. Where was it? 237. Today it's at 163. Overpaying for a business that does not have growth with it is just a bad situation. So is it risky? Absolutely. Do you want to buy at all-time highs? I don't think you want to be scared away from all-time highs, but you buy into good businesses. And we can look at Zoetis, CTS, in Seeking Alpha. And again, this is part of the finding your strategy and finding your tools and finding out what works is finding exactly which tools you want to use and how you want to do this. It has come to me as second nature, and I just tend to do this. And again, Seeking Alpha, your Safari stuff is broken. And this is why I switched to Chrome. But your Safari stuff is broken. Ugh. God, it annoys me. We'll take a look at Zoetis. Let's see, ZTS. There we go. Now it's going to reset, and I can probably put it in, and everything's going to work fine. Yep. Zoetis right here, it is a hold in the quant. Now, Wall Street says it's a buy. They have a $213 price target, but they have slowly brought it down. So again, valuation matters at some point in time, and the stock price will do it. Now, another strategy, David Tepper. He had a strategy and it worked. During the 2008 market crash, the man turned $27 million into $50 billion. He was accused of cheating, stealing, and insider trading. The truth, he did the opposite. He basically, during 2008, just so you know the strategy, he said the government will never let the banks go under. And he was right. He bought Bank of America at $3. He bought, Citibank at like $2. He bought all of those beaten up assets. Like Warren Buffett put $250 million into Bank of America at like $8. I followed him into that trade. I believed in this one as well. I made quite a bit of money off of this stuff. But imagine this, 2008, Lehman Brothers collapses. The market is in free fall. Everyone is selling panic, the entire financial system. One man sees it differently. And again, you can go over this entire thread. It is great. It is about finding a strategy, making sure that your hypothesis works, and then putting it into action. And that's all it is. Now, Scott Redler, if you didn't know, on Friday, I put out a bunch of Scott Redler scans for Trendspider. You can go to newsletter and look at those. But this is when a trap pattern happens after an active sequence, you need to switch gears fast. These are bull and bear trap candlestick patterns. I mean, it's pretty simple. Dark cloud cover, bearish. This doesn't mean that you go, I don't believe in candlestick patterns. I don't trade on them. I'm not a big fan. I don't know the percentages or what it does. But again, if candlestick patterns work for you, have at it. Have at it. Does it fit your strategy? Shai Bulor, he's got a space economy strategy. He puts this out for free, just so you can see it. ASTS, RDW, PL, Planet Labs, Lunar Machines. And he goes over all of his space strategies so that you can see it. Go and invest in it. Again, if that's something that you like, go and invest in it. Just make sure you know what you're doing. And here, from micro, small caps, here's top 25 stocks from this MV Kuna. MVC Investing. He puts out his top 25 stocks for 2025. You can find so much great information on X, on social media platforms. Just make sure you have the tools to back up what these people are saying. Because if it doesn't jive in your own system, you're not going to be comfortable just going out and buying this stuff. Okay? Is energy in your strategy? Look at Exxon. Not all ascending triangles are created equal. Again, a technical strategy on Exxon might not work. Exxon is in the core portfolio. It is. It's at 106. It constantly trades up to 120. So is it going to get back to 120? Yes. I mean, just outright, yes, it will. It will get back to 120. It's a company that trades really, really well, and you can make money on it. And it's not like you're going to, lose a ton. The average Wall Street target price is 130. That's 22% upside. They haven't brought it down. They've brought, this is a company that, again, the valuation, little bit expensive because their growth sucks. They're just not growing, but their profitability is amazing. Again, return on total capital, 10%. Return on common equity, 14%. Pull up the virtual analyst report and read about it. And you can see, again, Wall Street has a buy, Seeking Alpha has a buy, the quant has it as a hold, but the quant has that as a hold for all. And if you look at the technical strategy of this one, it doesn't seem to, the triangle didn't work. Now, my 4-hour algorithm doesn't work on this one either. It loses you 10%. Buying and holding loses you 0.8%. So you're even with a buy and hold. You got to find a strategy that works for you. So again, not all sectors. Speaking of strategy, MicroStrategy, I've talked about this one over and over again. This is one, understand what you're getting yourself into. I buy and sell on the 4-hour algorithm. It works until it doesn't. And so MicroStrategy, again, they're playing in a speculative finance. They're diluting shareholders again by issuing more debt, and they're going to buy more Bitcoin. And so if you believe in that strategy, have at it. You can buy and hold MicroStrategy. I prefer to buy IBIT, but this is a great article as to why. Maybe you don't want to buy and hold MicroStrategy. Maybe it's not within your risk tolerance like it's not in mine. Okay, Wells Fargo put out their top 10 predictions for 2025. Okay, it's just a short list of 20. I thought it was great. I think it's great. Investors will reward organic volume growth over pricing. This is a great article. Go and read it. You can develop your strategy even based on something like this. Okay? Long nuclear. Is OKLO one of those? Is energy one of your things? You can look at this. Look, the 30-day squeeze, it's getting in there as a buy. Bullish MACD cross. This is on the daily. And if we go and look at OKLO in the 4-hour algorithm, we can look at OKLO here. OKLO in the 4-hour algorithm, it makes you 89% versus buying and holding makes you 130%. You win 34% of the time. It has just been a good buy since September. Now, is this going to continue up? I don't know, but look at how the MACD reset itself. Okay, you got up here to 28 and the MACD pulled itself back. The RSI pulled itself back. The Bollinger Bands, they're cinching up. You're trading on the top of the 9-day at $21. This was a good buy. It got all the way to 25 within just a few days. Okay, is OKLO another good buy? Well, I don't know. I mean, for me, I'm not in this one. I may get into it. I do believe in nuclear energy for going forward. Now, Webbush believes that Palantir and Salesforce will lead the charge in monetizing AI in 2025. So I like Oracle as well. We believe Palantir is a credible path to morph into the next Oracle. So they believe that Palantir is going to be the next Oracle. If you went and look at just Oracle's chart and you want to find the next one, look at this chart. I mean, look at that chart since 2022. You went from 66 all the way up to almost $200. That is a great, great 2-year return. And they believe that Palantir is the next one. That's a great one. It's a good one. I just wanted to point out the core portfolio from Savvy Trader, just so you're aware, it is still beating. Even with all this red that you're seeing, it is still beating SPY. It is still beating QQQ. Year to date, it's up 38%. I will be doing new portfolios. I will be altering some things. I'll be doing some stuff. I will also be altering the podcast a little bit, just so you're aware, in the new year. Maybe good, maybe bad. I'm still working through some things, but just remember, if you want the tools, and we talked about strategy, we talked about how to get strategy, but again, Trendspider, holiday sale. The other thing that you can do is Seeking Alpha has this great bundle. And let's just talk about a strategy that I particularly like, which is Alpha Picks. Okay. You can do all the research that you want. You can go into Seeking Alpha and you can find the top stock. If we just go over here and we look at top stocks, what's the top stock? It's LS, it's KINS, it's PSIX. All of these have had great returns. Okay, since they became United Airlines, we talked about how that one is in the top 10 of performers for the year. It's been up there. Synchrony Financial, which is a great one. I'm seeing Carnival Cruise Lines is up there. Again, you can do all of that with Seeking Alpha Premium, and that's part of this bundle. You can get premium, but you can also get Alpha Picks. And when I talk about strategy, this is a data-driven portfolio. Okay, you get 2 stock picks. We're going to get one on the 1st. You get one on the 1st, one on the 15th of every month. And they tell you when to buy. That's great. Well, tell me when to buy. But the key point is they also tell you when to sell. And so when you look at trying and, if you're one of those retail people who maybe just made 9% over the last year while the S&P made 30% over the last year, maybe get into Alpha Picks and you can get $50 off. Okay. It's 164% over the same time period that the S&P made 57%. Again, they tell you when to buy and sell, and you get access to the entire portfolio on day one. And in the newsletter, if you look at the newsletter, every day I provide you a link to a video where I bought the $50,000 of the Alpha Picks portfolio back in October. I am doing extremely well on that. And yes, it's pulling back just like every other stock. It is a long-term buy and hold. My strategy, Alpha Picks. They tell me when to buy. They tell me when to sell. On all those stocks, I just sit there. I think it's 32, 30, 34 stocks, somewhere in that neighborhood. I just listen. I don't do my research. If I want to add more, I can always do my research as it starts to go up, and I can watch the charts in Trendspider to see which alpha picks go up. You know, an alpha pick that was from before, Sprouts Farmers Market. Would I ever invest in Sprouts Farmers Market? I shop there. Would I ever invest in there? No. In fact, you know, back here in January or February where they started buying it, it may have been April, in the 60s, I said, you know, I like it. I don't love it, but I like it. And I didn't buy it. Today, it's at 126. It went all the way up to 151. Is this an absolute screaming buy? Well, let's go and let's look at Sprouts Farmers Market in Seeking Alpha Premium. Because if you don't want to do the research, then you don't want to do the research. You can just listen to its alpha picks. But let's go and look at it. The valuation D, everyone says it's a hold. Okay, but the PEG ratio is really good compared to the sector. And so their growth is really good. Look at that, 10% on a freaking supermarket. And are you going and shopping at a different supermarket? No, this is habit forming. So you're not going to switch from Sprouts Farmers Market off to Walmart. You're just not going to. I shop at Walmart. I do shop at Sprouts Farmers Market. I'm not buying a ton of meat at Walmart. I'm going to the local Sprouts Farmers Market because I think they have better meats. So did I buy the stock? No. But I do own it now as part of the Alpha Picks portfolio. So again, if your strategy is just to do your own research, I think premium will help. But I do think the bundle is the best deal. You save $159. If you don't want to save, you can get a free 7-day trial of Seeking Alpha right here, $30 off, and you can start. It's just the premium. You can't get a 7-day trial of the bundle. And the reason is because they give you the Alpha Picks portfolio. They don't want you buying the damn portfolio and then just, not going over the 7-day thing. They want to make sure that you're subscribed to it. So the bundle is what I would suggest. If you want to do your own research, I would say just get Seeking Alpha, the premium version, because it's so good with those virtual analyst reports. And if you don't want to do your own research and you just want to buy and hold and you just want to go about your day, Alpha Picks is the way to do it. And it's because the performance of the portfolio. And Steve Kress, by the way, I will include in the newsletter, he's going to be going over his top 2025 picks. The top 2023 and top 2024 picks were all up like 120, 130%. So his top 25 picks are going to be greatly watched specifically by this audience. If you have Seeking Alpha Premium, you can watch that episode. I think it's coming up later in January. So I'll include a link to it. But if you have any questions, here on Linktree, again, the link is down below. You can get to me. My DMs are open, email, whatever you need. If you have any questions, you can comment. I would urge you, if you've made it this far, hit the thumbs up on YouTube or hit rate me on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Because if you made it this far, you love me. That's all it is. And again, it's Monday, December 30th. We have a full day trading tomorrow. I will probably jump on tomorrow and talk about the bloodbath that we're seeing. If you just go to FinViz right now, it's an absolute bloodbath again. And we're way down. We are way, way down. And yes, I look like a genius selling Apple at 257, even though it went up to 260. I was worried that I would have to buy it back higher. I won't. I will buy it back lower. But am I trading in and out of things like, in those large quantities? No. I am very much a buy and hold, thing. And I will be doing more Savvy Trader portfolios for the new year. Just so you know, the trading portfolio, let's see, the trading portfolio is up year to date 71%. So you can see the year to date. Let's compare it against SPY. This one's up quite a bit. So if you're interested in the trading portfolio, just ask. But any other questions, hit me up. Okay, I will talk to you guys tomorrow.
Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, hopes and fears.